Today we're diving into a topic that touches every part of our lives, decision making. Whether you're managing a bustling household or steering a thriving business, every choice counts. Dr. Natalie Pickering, a consulting psychologist, specializes in decision making strategies for leaders, employees, and anyone trying to navigate daily life. And she joins us this morning. She has navigated her way here to daytime. It's good to see you again.
You too. Thank you so much.
This is a topic I don't think we talk a whole lot about. It is decision making.
It's true, and like we said, it affects everyone,
Yes.
right? So it affects, if you have children, it affects you in the workplace, so many daily decisions. In fact, on average, we are making 35,000 decisions a day.
Stop it.
I know.
That number's staggering.
It
That
is.
staggers the mind when you think. But I suppose you're right. I mean, we don't think about it because we just do it.
Exactly. Around 225 of those choices are related to food.
Right.
And when you add up the 35,000 choices, it's 1.5 hours per day
That we're making decisions.
that we are spending in decision making.
That's incredible. So what are some of the pitfalls that all of us face when it comes to making decisions?
Sure. So just that sheer overload, right, of having so many choices. They did a really interesting study in selling jam. And if people had 6 options versus 20 options, they sold 10 times more. So people, if you just reduce the number of choices, we prefer that. There's also a bias called anchoring, and retailers use this. So the first price, if this shirt is $30, marked down to 15, the 30, I anchor on that information, so 15 looks like a great deal. So we tend to, we tend to not take in all of the data and the facts. So that's one trap. Another trap is we're often making decisions emotionally, especially the big ones. So career change, relocation, a new medical diagnosis, and now I have decisions to make. There's big emotion that goes with that decision. So we need to make sure we're balancing data, rational data, with what our gut is telling us.
Instead of thinking with our heart, sometimes we need to think more with our head.
Exactly.
Talk to us about some of the things that we can do on a daily basis to improve our decision.
Absolutely. So one thing I recommend with people that I work with is decision batching. So designating one time of day on your calendar. Put as much, of course there are day-to-day things you have to decide right now. Let's put some of those decisions into this schedule on our calendar. The other strategy that I like is the 10-10-10 rule. So before I make this decision, how will I feel about this in 10 minutes? How will I feel about this in 10 months? How will I feel about this in 10 years? It eliminates some of that emotional overload that impacts our decision making.
That's interesting because I think a lot of decisions we make on the spur of the moment, maybe with our emotions, and 10 minutes from now we're still good with it, but 10 years down the road, that's when sometimes you just got to take the long view.
That's right. That's right. And we don't do that because we prioritize efficiency. We're feeling flooded by making the next decision. So taking that pause, and using a strategy like that forces us to consider the bigger picture.
35,000 decisions per day. That just feels like, I almost want to say, no, don't tell me that. That's one stat I don't think a lot of us wanted to know because it actually may add a little more burden to folks.
It does feel overwhelming. And so again, taking pause, the little decisions, fine, we can make those. Steve Jobs famously wore the same outfit every day. Just if
so
you
could
see
take
his,
that whole take that decision
so that
away.
Was I don't know what his closet looked like, but there's one daily decision. He wanted to use his decision making strategy for other things for his business.
Something to keep in mind.
It's true.
We declutter our house. maybe we need to declutter our decision making.
Exactly. That's a great way of putting it.
All right. Dr. Natalie Pickering, thank you so much for stopping by
Absolutely.
today. Folks, we got some information for you right there. If you need to contact her, we got the information for you right there on the screen. And we'll be back with more Daytime coming up in just a few moments.